Artist-sonas, a character that is meant to be a representation of the artist that created it. That's what I'm making today, and so like a fool, I start my sketch in the corner of the canvas, and then I realize this and move it to the middle. So I've never actually designed a sona for myself before, excluding my spider sona, but I feel like that counts more as an OC than a true representation of myself. And I'm also not one to love doing self-portraits, even though my first video on this channel is a self-portrait. But from my understanding, the sona does not necessarily have to look like the artist. It doesn't have to look like me. However, I still wanted it to have some resemblance. So I've tried to design the character to have my own haircut or what my hair looked like in my last haircut. And I ended up adding glasses later on. Okay, so it doesn't really look like me at all, but like we established earlier, that's all fine. Because I also drew an outfit that I have never worn once in my life. In fairness though, I like to think it is something I would wear if I had it in my closet. So the reason I wanted to do an Artist-sona in the first place was because I thought it would be a useful addition to my videos, sort of like a really simplified version of a PNG tuber. And I have no intentions of rigging or mapping it to my voice or a camera or whatever it is that make PNG avatars work, but I decided to draw a few different emotions just to keep things interesting. I'm not sure how often some of these expressions are going to be used, but honestly some of them are just for fun. So, since the only thing that will be changing is a facial expression, when I start the line art, I start with what will be the base, which includes everything except the eyes, eyebrows, mouth, and the little hair curl at the top of the head. And actually each of those other parts of the face are separated as well, which allows me to potentially mix and match the facial features to create even more unique expressions. Parts of this video end up looking a little bit crazy as I keep going back to the other layers to try and keep the proportions of the face fairly consistent. I struggled the most making the surprised look, particularly the eyes, and if you pause the video at the right time, you will see the moment that I wanted to just give up. But I end up with a face I decided is good enough to move on from because I probably won't be using this expression all that much anyways. And then I almost forget to do the hair bit, which I made a few versions of, thinking I might use different ones depending on the expression. And I also don't forget to add in the glasses finally. I also do two versions because I can't decide which one looks better between the two. Okay, finally we can start coloring, and this part looks even crazier than the last part. Sorry about that. Anyway, since we've established that the sona can be a bit fictionalized, I made the hair blue. I do not have blue hair in real life. I mean, I did at one point, but not like this. I add in the shadows and the highlights onto this base layer, and then I start doing each of the individual facial features, and because I did a bunch of different versions, I had to do each one a couple of times. I did cheat it with the eyes a bit. That was also mostly for consistency. I consider not adding anything for the eyebrows, but I think having a bit of shading just makes the face look a bit more complete. I finished the mouth parts as well, adjusting some of the line art as needed, and I definitely don't almost forget the top hairpiece again, and the other bits as well. And that is done! I've compiled an expression chart sort of thing to show all the different expressions I can make with this character now, and I hope you all like this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at KaylinVerse, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks!